Day 23, we are here in Koh Mak, our first night here in Koh Mak. I slept much better than I did in Koh Chang, in that last resort. We've just woke up, did a spot of yoga this morning in this yoga pavilion. Would you call it a pavilion?
Yep.
And yeah, it's a day of definite reflections, especially over the past couple of days. There's been events and situations that have made me stop and think, and it feels, from last night, it definitely felt like a bit of a stop point on this journey that we're on. It's the sense of feeling safe in your environment, and this has been triggered from the situation with the dogs. We both love dogs. We have a friend dog at home, Rummy. We miss you, Rummy. You're so nicer than the dogs here. And I sometimes have a bit of a fear for dogs. And with a certain situation recently with one dog in Rayong that went to attack us, I ran, Tim fended with an umbrella, and then a pack of dogs that came to us when we were going up to a waterfall. And ever since then, every time I see a dog, it makes me nervous. And recently it's made me more fearful because they're everywhere. They are everywhere. And I know that. I know, like in Philippines, they're a little bit different. They're normally in kennels, but they do have a stray dog problem as well. But it just, you know, even though I'm like, it's okay, there's people walking around all the time, maybe not walking around, but there's people around, people live here, you know, just suck it up and deal with it. However, I can't ignore the way I feel. And over the past couple of days, it's been really nerving. We, you know, just yesterday, we went to walk like 200 meters towards the beach, about 100 meters, basically come out here, turn left, and about a 50-meter walk down the road. I was speaking to a lady about laundry, and then there was like this pack of 4 or 5 dogs, quite strong looking dogs as well. And yeah, it unnerved me. And even on the scooter yesterday, we were like, well, we can't walk around, doesn't feel like it's the environment to walk around in, let's just jump on a scooter. And even on a scooter, when I see a dog down a path, they don't really get disturbed by you on a scooter, but you never know. I have been reading about people getting attacked on scooters, so again, that's in my mind. So yeah, it's.
And how has that changed your perspective on the trip?
It's changed that I don't want to be in an environment like this. So, you know, the intention was to travel and see different countries, and I feel that from our experience over the past month here now, that maybe Thailand's not a country for us to live and reside in or work in, or even do what we're doing now, just traveling. And it's not that makes me sad. What made me sad really yesterday was just the fact that I can't even just go to a restaurant or walk down the road without feeling safe, and I just don't like that feeling. And I think, again, with my skin, there's situations where it's stressful and it creates stress on my body. Stress causes disease, stress causes inflammation, but there's a difference between stress that you can work with, like at work, the way I attack work or the way I deal with work. There's ways of maybe managing that or even reducing the stress. But when it's fear or danger, that's a different type of stress. And for me, I just wanted to remove myself from that. So regardless if there's people around and they live here, that's fine. But for me, it doesn't feel nice. So I'm happy to kind of move on, maybe look at going to countries that don't have this problem, or staying in more of the cities, seeing what the city's got to offer, and basically travel around taxis. You know, don't walk around too much, not like we can in the UK. So that was just yeah, it was I was sad, but I think I was sad because I felt unsafe, and I don't like that feeling. So
yeah. So when I came to Thailand and on this journey in general, I was definitely looking at somewhere to potentially relocate to, and somewhere that may seem freer. We've been here 3 weeks, and Thailand definitely has a lot to offer. It's a beautiful country. The people are lovely. The food is amazing. It's pretty affordable, but I don't have the sense of freedom and the ability to do certain things that I do in the UK, and I think I would miss it. I think we've come at a time that is oppressively hot. It's really, really hot here, and I know it's not that bad all the time, but you can't be out in the sun from 9 till 5 really. It starts subsiding a little bit at around 4, and maybe let's say 10, and it's a bit overcast today. It's 10:20 now, but even in the sun now it would be difficult, and this makes things like training quite difficult. I haven't wanted to do it as much, although I kind of need to do it. So the environment is not one that makes you feel free, for me anyway, with the things I want to do. I think also I like being able to walk places. I like just being able to think, right, I want to get up and go, and that's not done here. And it was good to get on a scooter yesterday and drive around, and you'd need to be more confident on one. This was a great place to learn and try it out, and I think that's how you travel around. But again, it just, to me, it feels like a lack of freedom having to do that, and particularly because it does seem like the safest way to do it. It doesn't seem safe to just walk somewhere. And maybe this is because, well, I think we've learnt a lot more. So I think we've figured out that you can't really walk mornings and evenings, which again, they're the times that you're able to
that
walk.
we wanted to go.
Because the dogs are more active and they're more alert. And every property, whether it's a bit of derelict land with strays or a resort like this, is going to have guard dogs, and they are guard dogs. They're very different from dogs in the UK. If you're introduced to them by an owner, they'll be friendly, they're fine, they know you're all right. But until that's been done, even the ones here in the resort, they weren't happy to see me. I got the same reaction as I would in a dog in the street, and it is quite unnerving. And I've been around big dogs, but I've never been around so many dogs that are being territorial. And I think you can deal with it, and you can get better at dealing with it, and not becoming unnerved and not having stressful reactions. But I think it's whether you want to be doing that all the time. And I guess it's the reality of places. The idea you have in your head is never going to be the reality of the situation. So I guess I'm kind of on the same page. Like, there are certain freedoms that I want that I don't think you're going to get in Thailand. So yeah, it's like I say, we've been here 3 weeks, and I think we're going to continue on with our trip towards Trat, Bangkok, then down south, and we're probably going to do the 2.5 months that we planned. 2 months, 2.5 month visa that we've got, and then we'll probably move on to somewhere else. And it's been a learning curve. I think there's probably a big difference from coming here from a couple of weeks as a tourist, where you can really insulate yourself, but if you try and kind of just go out, walk around and do that, and do what we've done, I'm not saying it's extreme what we've done, but you can see that maybe that's not so possible here. And even talking to quite a few. Most Thai people we've spoken to, we have asked about what they think about the dogs, and they all seem to think it's a problem. They've all been bitten. They've all been bitten. So yeah. I guess it is what it is. It's a learning thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a learning thing,
and I think, I mean, I'm always I'm always big on signs. I always feel like life is there giving you signs. Even with my skin, instead of falling victim, I know life is telling me something. Either I need to eat better, or I need to change my environment. So instead of being victim and thinking, why is this happening to me? This is shit. This is bad. All of this. It's like, what is life trying to teach me, or trying to help me fix up? And I think with this situation over the past week, and where we are now at this sort of stop sign, thinking, do we turn left or turn right? It's just saying, you know, maybe Thailand isn't for us. And my outlook is, there's so many countries out there that don't have this problem. And you know, initially we wanted to come and do many countries, just to do a bit of a recce, seeing what countries felt right to us, seeing what countries didn't feel right to us. And I feel we both feel, and I can say that from our conversations, that Thailand isn't for us. However, you know, there are countries that I still want to explore, and there's going to be countries that we're like, this is great, and there might be countries that are like, this is not for us. However, initially the idea was to travel for 6 to 12 months, but around countries like this we could do it on the budget that we set aside. However, looking at countries and maybe sticking to cities like Singapore, we definitely want to go to Japan, maybe even venture towards Australia and New Zealand now. The prices aren't going to be as cheap as here. So our budget might not last as long as we intended, and that's fine. So if it means that in 3 months' time, 2 months' time, a month and a half time, you know, our money's run out and we're like, we need to head home, we have to head home. But I just feel that life is just saying, this place isn't for you, you don't feel safe, and maybe try other countries that don't have this problem. They might have other problems, and then we'll only know that until we visit, when we visit the country. But until then, I'm up for kind of, changing the route, being flexible, basically.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a time for a little bit of thinking about what the plan was and where it's going to go. I definitely think there are signs that say, okay, this isn't what you thought it was, and a change of course maybe. I don't think, life is never what you think it will be. The picture you have in your head is never the reality, and you have to accept what life serves you up, and you have to react to it and make the best decisions possible,
and be flexible. You know.
Yeah.
So it's just you know, this is our diary, and we want it to be as honest as possible to how we're feeling. And I know I'm normally upbeat, and I'm always finding the positive, which I still am, but I had to stop and go, no, I felt scared, I felt unsafe, and let's figure out the next road. We've just come to a stop road. We turn left, do we turn right, and then just continue. I guess that's what life's about.
Yeah. And I think it also, it brings in, for me anyway, the broader question of, what are you doing? Because now maybe in my mind I had the next 6 months, a year, where I was like, right, this is what I'm doing. Now all of a sudden it's like, okay, well maybe it'll only be a month, 2 months more that I'm doing this. And so it brings back questions of, what I'm doing in general. So stuff to think about, and we'll see.
But remember, what is yours will find you. So yeah, we're sticking on that.